dance for joy.
Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Review, the series where we look at practical and sensible cars that you could buy for a budget of between £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 2020 Toyota Yaris Mark III, also known as the XP130 1.5 Y20 edition. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So the Mark III Yaris was launched in 2011. I have covered previously two Mark I Yarises, or Yaris A's, on the channel, and a Mark II as well. This particular car dates right at the end of production. Production finished in France, I think it was summer of 2020. This car dates from around then. So it's just before the current model came out. And it feels really quite nice to drive, actually. This I'm quite surprised. I've driven a 1.3 version of this from 2014, just before the first facelift, and that wasn't nearly as nice as this for some reason. The basic engine you could get in a Mark III Yaris was a 1 litre with 72 horsepower. They're not the fastest things in the world. 0 to 60 takes about 15 seconds. Better was the 1.3 or 1.33 technically, that was in the cars before 2017. Which had 99 horsepower. You could also get this, like this car, with a 6-speed manual. Then there was this very, very nice 1.5 with 109 horsepower that came with the final facelift. I would probably pick one of these myself if I were to choose any of the Mark III Yaris A's. I feel really silly saying that, don't I? Then you have the hybrid model. It's a 1.5 like this, but it only produces about 100 horsepower, but it comes as standard with a CVT gearbox. If you really want to go fast in your Mark III Yaris though, you're going to want the 1.8 GRMN model, only available as a 3-door. I think they also came in 2017, that has 212 horsepower. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. We do talk about is the very pleasant and easy character of this Mark III Yaris. The gearbox on this 22,000 mile example is superb. They weren't known for being the best necessarily. It's not a Mazda or anything, this, but it's good. The sort of person who'd buy you a car like this would, you know, not be bothered by it being maybe the latest and slickest, but just by being easy to use and dependable, and certainly these cars are very dependable. One thing I'm quite surprised, this car doesn't seem to have a stop-start, but it doesn't. Don't know why that is, but there we go. The previous models, actually the facelift ones, did have that in 1.3 engine, so there we go. You can get different types of automatic. You can get a CVT on certain models. You can also, I think some of these early ones might have even been a sort of multi-mode or whatever. I get confused between what a multi-mode and a CVT is and things like that. Maybe that's just me. So yes, the ride seems good. It doesn't seem as firm as I remember the other car being, the 2014 1.33 engine. It just feels very sort of undemanding on the driver. Actually, if you push it harder, it's kind of like a Mark 7 Fiesta or anything like that, which was roughly contemporary, but I think those ran from 2008 to 2017. Doesn't it handle like that, but it still feels very easy and very safe. I can't remember if these have electric steering in them or not. They might have electric power steering. Certainly this engine feels quite lively, much more lively than either the 1 litre and 1.33. 0 to 60 in this car is about 10.6 seconds. And it even makes a reasonably good noise, which I'm happy about. Obviously this is not the GRMN, so if you want your thrills in a Mark III Yaris, that's what you need to go for. But it's perfectly good. I'm a bit annoyed about the shift indicator there, which keeps coming up, and it's starting to annoy me. Apologies for the wind noise, viewers. As I said, the This car has come to me very, very last minute. I was going to film something else, but that's not available. And this just came into stock, and I actually have never reviewed one of these on the channel before, so thought we'd have a go. So Y20 limited edition, this car, although it's not really that limited because they made this particular model for about 18 months, the Y20, so I don't know what's going on there, but there we go. I think this final facelift, XP130 generation Yaris, or Mark III, it does look quite nice. I think they really helped to extend the life of the car by a few years by making it look like this. Put the dealer plate in a bit of a different place this time to stop it falling off and open the boot, which is good. No parking sensors on this car. We do have a reversing camera. I had to remember that when I was backing in here. I didn't hit that sort of bar thing there. I think it looks good. It would probably be better for me if it was a different colour. You can see the sort of black accents if it was sort of red or white or something, but that's just personal choice really. I like these diamond cut alloy wheels. They on these 16 inches. The suspension's quite compliant. It's not too firm or anything. I think the front end is good. It sort of brings it into line with other Toyota models. So I don't know what's going on here. There's crazy things in the park today. Let's open the boot and hopefully I don't get too more disturbed by what's going on. So 286 litres, which would be quite typical for a car like this. An MG3, for example, is I think 285. Fiesta a little bit bigger. There's a bloke on here. Someone who'd owned this car before. I suspect it was someone who was on the older sort of side of things. Let's put a boot liner in here. Right. Hold on a second, viewers. Let me just pull this up. Okay, that was about a million times more fiddly than I thought it would be, but we're in, and we've got a space saver spare. Fantastic. Always like to see that. Little boot light in here. The only thing we don't have is any sort of hooks or anything. Don't have a 12-volt socket. Looks like you can adjust the boot height of the floor if you want to, but you would be left with a lot of space if you did that. Yeah, it's kind of sort of average really for this type of car, that kind of space. But right, let's go in the back. One thing I will say, these doors, they open nice and wide, and that's quite a large sort of space to get in and out. So actually that is very practical. We've only got windy windows in the back, but that's sort of normal for this sort of car really. Right, so put the headrest up. Actually, that's pretty good. That's amazing. When this car was launched in 2011, you could also get the Verso S, which I have reviewed actually. I reviewed that a long time ago. I think in 2022 I reviewed one of those. One of my friends owns one. And that was a sort of location. You need a little even more room for a car that's similar to this, and you can just buy one of those. But this is good. The only thing I would say is that the doors don't have any door bins on the rear, which is a bit of a shame. But we have a big cup pod down there. Don't have a centre armrest or anything. The centre seat belt just sort of goes in like that. It's a bit sort of eccentric really, but there we go. We've got a little bit of privacy glass in here, although it's not the GRMN model or anything, is it? So it's not sort of sporty exactly. Yeah, it's hard touch plastic, but this is what cars in this class are like, isn't it? It's just normal. Yeah, it's very, very easy to get in and out. You can see why a lot of people would be choosing between this and say like a Jazz. Actually, if it was 2011 to 2020, it'll be between the Mark III and the Mark IV Jazz. Only got one wiper for some reason. It's a very, very big blade, isn't it? Isn't that huge? Right, let's get in the front. Someone is parked next to me really tight since I arrived here, which is annoying. Never mind. Actually got a bit of soft touch on here, but the dash does feel quite different from the pre-facelift 2014 car that I drove. I think around 2020 I drove that. It does feel a little bit better. It feels better made and better quality than the early ones. Normal key in this one. Let's put that in. There you go, just 22,000 miles. Because this is a 17 onwards car, you get a little tiny screen in the middle of these two dials here, along with this infotainment display. It looks very similar actually to the second generation Yaris that was available around this time. I've just driven a 2018 one of those, so it looks very familiar. And unlike one of those, it's turned up right off. Unlike one of those, we don't have any sort of touch controls here. They are physical controls. Weirdly, this display seems to be further towards the passenger than the driver. I don't quite know why that is. This shelf here looks a little bit useless. You put the pens in there or something. Nice, easy to use air conditioning controls. That's what I'd like to see. I wonder if we've got sat nav. Let's just press this button here. Have we got sat nav in this car? No, we've got a button, but we haven't actually got the sat nav. That's annoying. Mind you, this screen actually is pretty basic. There's not much to say really. It's got DAB. There's the best 45.5 miles per gallon. You can press this button for music and things, radio. That's about it really. That is presumably the source. Yeah, it is. There we go. Yeah, not much to say about that really. USB port down here, 12-volt socket, 6-speed manual, brilliant. Normal handbrake, brilliant. Button for turning off for traction control, 3 blanking plates. Now, what's really weird is that those features could have actually been on that switch, but they're in this really weird bit down here. I think that's automatic high beam or something. We haven't got automatic lights, but we've got automatic high beam, and I think that's AB or something, and then lane keeping assist on there. As I said, I've not had a lot of time to sort of familiarise myself with this car really. It just came to me very quickly, so if I got that wrong, I do apologise. And we got cruise control. We got the little lever there, and that I think is, sorry, speed limiter that one would be. Let's go through and see if this actually works. We can look there. 43 miles per gallon. We've still got quite a lot of fuel in this actually. The previous person who sold this car to the dealership has left me 143 miles of fuel. Fantastic. 41's not too bad for a 1.5 engine like this. Yeah, I actually think this car's quite good, particularly in this sort of condition, and the fact that this car's only 4 years old. You'd expect that though, wouldn't you really? Right, can my knee open the door? Yes, got some door pockets in there. All my secret mission documents go in the glove box. Let's try that out. I'm still wondering what that shelf's for. Can you even fit like something remotely useful in there apart from some pens? No, I have to put it in there. Looks like you can fit a decent bottle of water and things in there as well, which is nice. I still find that sort of row of buttons there really rubbish. Why? We've got some switch places here. Why do you need that? Anyway, it's an ashtray down there or something. Oh, it's no, an extra storage compartment. That doesn't feel particularly secure though. I presume you don't want to use that too much, so there we go. One thing that's different between this and the previous generations of Yaris, you know, the original one and the second one, is that you don't have twin glove boxes on this. That's probably something that a lot of people would have been missing actually if they'd been upgrading from the Mark II to this Mark III. Right, have we got illuminated vanity mirrors? No. Never mind. I haven't got a rear courtesy light either. Oh well, never mind. Let's have a look at the engine, shall we? Ooh, it's not just a VVTi, it's a VVTi-E. Excellent. So this is a 1.5 engine, introduced with the final facelift in 2017, generating 109 horsepower. Looks, well, like a normal modern car, pretty complicated under here in comparison with some older ones, but you shouldn't have to look too many times underneath here anyway, because these are generally considered to be very reliable cars. We might go over some of the issues that you would have one of these. I have found a website, Parker's, which tells me some of the very few things that do go wrong with these. Whether you like the front end of this, which is in line with things like the iGo that was introduced in 2014, and the facelifted second generation Yaris in particular, is up to you, but a lot of Toyotas look like this, don't they? I like the way we've got some sort of chrome bits on this Y20 model. It looks a bit better than, say, some standard one would. Anyway, I suppose we'd better go out for another drive. So just very easy to drive, just very undemanding. I can see why new drivers really like these, and actually on the second-hand market they do command a premium because of the reputation that they have. That and the sort of Mark 3 and 400 Jazz, the same category really like that. But yeah, it handles the sort of potholes and things on this road in the West Midlands quite well. I must say thank you once again to Summit Garage in Dudley for allowing me to have a go in this car today. It's been offered at quite short notice. I was going to drive another car that they have, but that's not available, so I had to go about going with this, which I'm not disappointed at all. I've actually quite enjoyed the experience, particularly in this specification, this strange kind of limited edition celebrating 20 years of Yaris production, which actually was in 2019, but actually this is 2020. I don't know actually how the current generation compares to Mark IV Yaris, which is only available with one powertrain, unless you go for the GR Yaris. But I think it might be based around this 1.5 engine. I'm not entirely sure actually now. But yes, so I'm stuck in traffic, and so I can't really enjoy things. But it does allow me to appreciate just how light the clutch is, and how easy this is to drive. And I think if you're just looking for something that's quite undemanding, not maybe the last word in dynamism, then this will do very nicely indeed. As you can imagine, there were a lot of trim levels available for these cars because they were actually on sale for 9 years in this country. So we had the Active, the Bitone, the Design, the Edition, helpful, the XL Premium, the GR Sport, the GRMN Edition. Neither of those are actually the GRMN, they just are sort of made to look a bit like it. The Icon Tech, the Icon Plus, the Orange Edition, the Yellow Edition, the Sport, the SR, the SR Nav, the T-Spirit, T2, T3 and TR Nav, the Trend, the TSN, and there's the Y20. Yeah, that's an awful lot of trim levels, isn't it? Let's now look at some Mark III Yaris known faults and common problems. There really aren't that many of these actually in comparison with some other cars. There were some recalls. Just make sure that you check if you're buying one of these if it's been done. Dings and dents, this car's perfect, but maybe it's been the first car or something like that. Clutches, again, maybe it's been the first car or something like that. Those can be worn out quite quickly. The paint's really good on this car, but apparently there are some problems with paint. Some people skip the servicing. I don't recommend you do that. Don't need to worry about the issue here because, well, this is a virtual one. Sat nav, it's not the best. Full of plastic, can feel a bit cheap. Actually, this bit of the dash doesn't feel too bad. It doesn't seem too bad to me. CVT can actually play up and sometimes be a bit erratic. Sometimes they're a bit like that though, actually, anyway. If you go for the hybrid, the boot's a little bit smaller than the 286 litres in this car. That's some main problems apparently, according to Parkers. So viewers, should you consider a Mark III Yaris with your hard-earned budget of between £1,000 and £5,000? Actually, these cars hold their value quite well. Small, cheap cars, particularly ones that have a reputation for reliability like Toyota, are holding their value quite well, even the sort of early like 1.3 models and things. I would go personally, if it were me, for this 1.5 option with the 6-speed gearbox and get this 2017 onwards facelift. I think this is the best of the combination, but obviously you'll be paying a lot more. This car's actually advertised at about £12,000, which, considering it's done 22,000 miles, it's 4 years old, I think is all right actually. With this car still in its warranty period as well, because you get 5 years. So yes, not the most exciting car I've ever driven. A Mark 7 Fiesta is better to drive than one of these for sure, but you know, this is just one of these cars you just get in and you go and you don't worry about it, which for a lot of people these days, that's what they prefer. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this and leave a comment below, and we shall see you again quite soon for some more reasonably priced motoring.
guys.